everyone, I'm Laura and welcome to the College Office. Except once again, we are not in the College Office, which means it's time for another College Spotlight. Today I will be chatting with the incomparable Natalie Weiss. Natalie is so much more than a Broadway performer. While she did make her debut as an understudy for the women in Everyday Rapture, starring Sherry Renee Scott, and she spent 2.5 years on tour with Les Mis, you probably know Natalie from her YouTube videos, Breaking Down the Riffs. If you haven't seen them, definitely check them out because they're super fun. In each video, Natalie teaches amazing singers and you the riffs from popular songs. My favorite one is the one where she teaches Beyonce's Bootylicious riff to Ben Platt from Pitch Perfect and Dear Evan Hansen. And speaking of Dear Evan Hansen, Natalie's voice can also be heard on that cast album, which I think is super cool. Most recently, Natalie released a music video for the song I Am with Lauren Allred. You can check that out on YouTube. I am so excited to talk to Natalie about her experience applying to and attending Penn State University, where she got her BFA in musical theater. So let's do it. Hi, Natalie.
Hello.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
I'm so excited to talk to you about your college application experience and attending Penn State and kind of all of that fun stuff. So why don't we start? Why don't you tell me a little bit about you as a student in high school? Where did you go to school? What kind of student were you? All that fun stuff.
I went to a half-a-day program, half a day in Manalapan, New Jersey, half a day Howell High School. Because at the time you didn't have to transfer full-time there. Now they have to transfer. So I did the musicals in my home school, but I did the performing arts acting program there. We took voice lessons, but it was an acting major. Dance classes. And then academics were at my home school. And I also did the varsity tennis team. So I tried to balance the musical and the classes with sports too.
So you had to travel midday.
Yeah. Midday. So we did oh God, it's so long ago now. Homeroom, maybe a class or two. And then we traveled and did the rest of the day performing arts. But it changed halfway through because I went sophomore to senior year.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. That's cool though.
Yeah.
It gives you a lot of
fun.
independence and so when you were getting ready to apply to college, where did you apply? What did you feel like was the most challenging part of the process for you?
My thing is I like to help people now because I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
So I didn't have a lot of guidance. There's a lot of coaching teams now.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I applied to maybe 8 schools,
Yep.
Carnegie, Ithaca, Syracuse, CCM, Michigan, Penn State, Miami, and then a few programs for music ed because I was do I want to be a music teacher? Do I not?
Right.
So I didn't have a lot of guidance, and my funny story is that I sang the first 16 bars of my song, which doesn't show any range.
Right.
So I didn't get in anywhere, basically.
Right.
I got into 2 schools.
Okay.
And coincidentally, those are the 2 schools that asked for the full song, so I got to sing the big part.
Great.
So I didn't have a lot of guidance.
Yeah.
And I remember traveling every weekend to audition
Mm-hmm.
and visiting schools my junior year. I just really didn't, the musical theater scene just wasn't as prominent as it is now.
Yeah.
Every single school has a BFA program.
Right.
Back then, there were the 8 schools, you know? So actually I was about to go to Miami.
Yeah.
And then I was I love the weather there. And then I was I'm going to go to Penn State. And I literally changed my mind a week before I had to give in my deposit.
Right.
So I just don't know where I'd be if I went somewhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's such a weird thing.
Yeah, it really is. So you said you had no guidance. Was there anybody kind of helping you from the application side or the audition side?
I mean, honestly, my mom was very on top of the application. She was you got to do this and this. But in terms of material prep, I had really not a lot of help. I was really on my own. My theater department just didn't understand the BFA audition process. Not a lot of people were applying to the big schools. The voice teacher was the one that said you should do the first 16 bars. Didn't understand,
gosh.
And I didn't know any better.
That's so hard, yeah.
So but you know what? I always wonder if I would have been prepped, if I would have known stuff. If I had not gone to Penn State, would I be sitting with you doing this interview right now?
Right.
It's a very weird thing. I went where I was supposed to go, and then the video of me that was on the first video of me on the internet ever was taken at a Penn State event.
Wow.
So I always wonder, what if I had gone to Miami?
Right.
What would I be doing?
Right, yeah.
It's very weird.
So was there something about Penn State, you said you changed your mind kind of really late. So was there something about Penn State because I mean, you can't beat Miami weather, so like
You can't be the weather.
right. So, but what was it about the program that really drew you in, and did it live up to your expectations when you got there?
I feel like a big draw for me was at the audition. All the kids were like socializing with you and like watching your audition.
That's huge.
Where it could be intimidating, it was kind of like comforting, and you felt like I fit in here.
Mm-hmm.
I auditioned for Miami at a unified audition, so I wasn't on campus, and so I didn't get to meet the students. And I think I just was weighing the pros and cons, and the weather was the huge pro for me.
Right.
But then I heard about the difference in the programs and the reputation, and the reputation has only grown. Penn State was like not as competitive as it is now.
Yeah, that's great.
Now there are pre-screens and no one gets in anywhere, so
Oh my God.
we didn't have pre-screens.
The pre-screen process is so, because that's like a whole nother.
It's a whole other thing, yeah.
We will talk more about
Yeah.
that when we get closer to that time, but that is a
Yeah.
whole like
We didn't have that.
added level of craziness.
Yeah.
So,
So when I got to Penn State,
oh yeah.
small program, so I had like 8 classmates.
Yeah.
A lot of individualized attention, and I felt like I learned a lot in the program. I think there was stuff I could have been more prepared for business-wise, but like I sort of learned on the job when I
Yeah.
graduated, and I hope they're getting better with the business prep
Right.
side of it.
So that's kind of my next question is how do you feel like your experience at Penn State prepared you for both what you do on stage and what you do off stage? So maybe not so much
Yeah.
what you do off stage.
Yeah, I feel like I learned vocal technique, dance, acting, and all the tools are there. And I pretty much had a good audition book, but that's because I was kind of savvy about that. So I would be the girl in college. People were like, give me this song, play this song for me. And so
Right.
I was sort of a little bit of a library at school. Some of the teachers weren't so much.
Right.
They were good for other things. In terms of like business, I mean, so many, but the thing is in college, the internet was not a thing.
Right.
Like I got my first computer for graduation.
Mm-hmm.
I have my laptop.
Yeah, it's
Right.
different.
So we had a desktop. Yeah.
Right.
So Facebook was sophomore year of college. So in terms of like every class that I teach at, when I visit a school, the teachers are like, there's like a social media class. There's no way we had that.
Wow. Oh,
So
I
now
mean,
it's like
social media wasn't.
no, it wasn't
like
a
you
thing.
couldn't name that. We
And
didn't know what it
now,
was.
like I talked to a bunch of managers and agents, and they spend half their time looking at the internet of, did you like them? Yeah, I don't remember. Let me check. It's
Right.
like very instant gratification. So there was none of that. So maybe now it's better.
Yeah.
And so maybe they're progressive now. But in terms of being your own business person, I sort of just like made that up,
Yeah.
and had to like meet people.
Right.
And that was it.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So, do you have like one piece of advice that you would give to someone applying to college now or getting ready to apply to college?
Just one?
Or as
One?
many as you have.
Okay.
All of your
I'm
pearls
like,
of
oh,
wisdom.
there's so many.
Yes.
One. I'm thinking.
Okay.
You don't have to go to school for musical theater.
That's a very good one. What should you do instead?
Okay. Because, I had a talk with my personal trainer, who's my friend from BFA school.
Sure.
She's a personal trainer. And we just always laugh. We're like, what did we even study? Like, I studied I learned a lot about the skill. But, like, I learned so much about financial, like, my future self as a financial independent woman through financial planners. Like, I literally did not know how to be a person. Like,
Yeah.
so now I have retirement funds, and a lot of my theater friends do not know what that is. So
Yeah.
little things like that. I'm not saying major in finance because that's boring, but
There's a middle ground.
There's a middle ground. I had to take gen eds that I was very bored by. But you should be well-rounded, and not to discourage anyone from this business, but whenever somebody says, I didn't get into any programs, I'm really looking for arts administration, I guess. And I'm like, great.
Yes.
I almost want to be like, that is great.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to be set for life. You're never going to have to struggle. So and the big piece of advice I got was, if you could see yourself doing anything else, do that. And I couldn't.
Right.
Like, I didn't want to be a chemist, so I guess I'm performing,
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. So is there any other advice? What else is going on for you? Where can people find you if they're
You can
looking?
find me in New York City on the streets.
Oh,
No,
sure.
Natalie_Weiss on Twitter and Instagram. NatalieWeiss.net website.
Great.
Yeah, those are my big. Just be well-rounded and be nice to everyone. and like you're always learning.
Yeah.
I'm so inspired by people that are branching out of the business. People with weird odd jobs. I'm like, what do you mean? How do you do that? And then like just observing, you know, and trying to get as much knowledge as you can, because it isn't all about acting, singing, dancing.
Yeah.
You know?
I think the being nice thing is so huge, and so I'm glad you brought that up, because I think that it's something that is so important kind of across the board, no matter what you do, and it's so easy, and we forget like, how important it is.
I should have taken that advice when I was yelling at the insurance lady on the phone today, but she deserved it.
It's okay, yes. She probably did something first. She provoked you.
But no, it's true. I mean, I'm naturally like, hey, how's it going? Like, this is my, you know. So for me, I've had to be like, this is fake to me, but hey, you know, just be, you know, open and friendly. And I'm friendly, but I'm not overly friendly. That's just not my like demeanor. So I've had to watch how I come across through college. Yeah. You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I always say, like, my dad's a pharmacist. He doesn't go to work, and people don't go, that pharmacist is really rude. Like, they just don't, like, observe his personality and, like, what is that pharmacist wearing? Like, we're judged so much for what we do when we walk in the room.
Right.
So my dad walks in, and he goes behind the desk, and that's his job.
Right.
Like, there is no, like...
And people assume that he's there and he can do it.
Right. He just goes to work. There's no, like... oh, should I take this gig because I have per diem, and then, oh no. And my mom's like, your life is so interesting. Just always.
It's fascinating, yeah.
So weird what we do.
It is strange. It's a strange.
But it's never the same day.
Yes, that's
good, yeah.
All right, well, thank you so much for coming.
Oh, no
It was so great to talk to you, and I think that you definitely offered some good advice for...
Let me know if you have any other questions.
Yeah, well, we can pass them along if I can.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, thanks, Natalie.
Thanks. Bye.
So special thanks to Natalie Weiss for coming to hang out with us in the college office today. I really appreciated all of her advice, but if you have any questions about anything that we talked about in the video, including any of the programs that we mentioned, feel free to email me at laurainthecollegeoffice@gmail.com. And if you haven't already, now would be a great time to subscribe to the videos. That's all for now. Thanks for visiting me, Laura, in the college office.